What's going on behind the scenes and off the microphone at the Magic Word podcast? Hear what listeners and guests are saying that isn't on the podcast this week on The Magic Whisper.
Hello, this is Scott Wells for The Magic Whisper. Well, we're going to get started with something a little bit different here this week. I'm going to go in and get my hair cut. So this is a two-part thing. First of all, you're going to be seeing a complete transformation of me. And so I'm going to go and get my hair cut. Then we're going to get the beard shaved. And then we'll start into this week's episode to kind of see what's going on. A lot of stuff going on, and it'll be fairly quick. Come join me. Okay, does this look a little bit different? I think it looks pretty weird right there. Short hair and just this kind of a big bushy beard. Wow, that's quite a look, isn't it? All right, now next step is to trim this back. Let's go. So, it's time. Adios, Santa Claus. Voila. Ho, ho, ho. Feel like a new man. Look at all that. Available on eBay. So, this is the 2025 me, or at least for the first 6 months or so, you'll be seeing this version of Scott Wells rather than the Santa Scott. And so I feel so much different. That's for sure. Not just cleaner, but cooler. To the standpoint that, yeah, this is not, my face isn't quite as warm as it used to be. Letting a little bit more cool air in. Anyhow, let's get right to what we're going to be talking about here this week with some news I think that you can use. First, we're going to talk about fires around the Magic Castle and some of the people who were impacted or almost impacted. We're going to talk about early bird convention registrations, which are going to begin soon. We're going to talk about an addendum to the Magician's Valhalla. A quick mention about Franz Harary's Asian show. And we'll have a clip from this week's Magic Word podcast that features Mark Pocan. Well, the top of the news, everyone is aware, of course, of the Academy of Magical Arts. The Magic Castle came very close with, it seems like, inches of some sort of serious destruction. I had heard all kinds of stories leading up to that. They were asking members to bring boxes to help load up books from the library to start hauling things away just in preparation for evacuation, and other people who were going and hosing down the roof of the Magic Castle and doing everything they could in order to try to save it, as well as the firefighters who were nearby. And apparently the fires were stopped, or the winds had shifted just in time to avoid any kind of major damage. I understand that some of the embers had blown to the roof, and the roof had briefly caught on fire. Again, don't know how much are rumors or how much are truths, but the bottom line is that it seems that the Magic Castle is safe. Now, in Los Angeles, it has been devastating with I think over 12,000 homes, last I heard, that had been lost, and with over 16 lives that have been confirmed taken, with, unfortunately, I'm sure more to come. In the meantime, the Magic Castle has been reaching out to try to do something, to try to help the community. Most recently, that as of the 10th, they were trying to see if they could get the public to drop off some some essentials like device chargers, gift cards, diapers, formula, toiletries, children's toys and books, underwear, different kinds of things like that. Now, today, as this is being released on Tuesday, January the 14th, later today at 10 o'clock Pacific time to 3 o'clock, they will be in the parking lot, and they're going to feature distributed sandwiches, chips, and cookies for people who are impacted by the fires. Donated goods will be also available for the attendees as well. So those who have been impacted by the fire are welcome to stop by. And there'll be strolling magicians who will be performing to help spread a little bit of joy and help people who are in need of at least a smile. So I wish everyone who was involved with that effort good luck. I'm sure that's going to be very difficult. Again, donations, if you have things, can still be dropped off this morning at the valet stand. And let's see, actually, by the time this comes out, it sounds like they will have already cut off the donations, the toiletries and diapers, etc. But they're going to be putting all this stuff together, which will be available then a little bit later. I had heard from some of my friends who had said they were impacted then a little bit. For an example, I had heard that Tina Leonard and Mike Caveney had just returned from Vienna, Austria, and performing over there. And when they got back, realized that they were kind of under, I guess, a red alert, or just like they were the next ones to be evacuated. So they had to try to figure out what kinds of things from the Egyptian Hall they were going to have to grab. Fortunately, the wind shifted and it passed them, and so they did not have to evacuate. They were very lucky. Also, John Gaunt, who is in the Pasadena area, was anticipating being evacuated as well, and so he actually had taken a truckload of many of his things, I guess, from his home and took them down to his workshop to kind of help in advance, just in case they had to evacuate, that he wouldn't be running into all the traffic and everything. But again, thankfully, he was unharmed too, from what I understand. And so there are a lot of stories of people who were impacted, certainly. These are the ones that I've heard that were fine. Kay Blackstone and her daughter Bellamy and her granddaughter Lillette were not impacted, but they were kind of on the cusp there also, just kind of standing by on alert for evacuation, but were not evacuated. So it was and still is an ongoing and very fluid situation. So they need to be in our thoughts and prayers for all those who are going through all of this. But as it stands, the Magic Castle is still standing. Today also, Tuesday the 14th, is the opening for the registration for Magic Live for this year. I'm mentioning that because it's going to be big as always. It's always a sellout with about 1,800 people. And this year they're doing things a little bit differently. Those of you who have registered in the past will have already received an email. I want to encourage you to go and take a look at your email because this way you'll be able then to use that early bird special in order to register today. And they have different tracks. In the past, there have been groups who want to sit together for different sessions, and one person can register for everybody. Well, long story short, they've changed that. They now have, I think, about 15 different tracks, all of which are named for different magicians, like the Houdini track, the Henning track, the Mark Wilson track, Cardini track. Anyhow, all these different tracks of different things, whether you want to take the morning session and if you want to take the afternoon lectures or the evening, whatever. He's got all different kinds of variations, 15 different variations of these different tracks. So you would need to choose this. Now, I understand that some of these are going to be limited, meaning that you may not get your first choice. It depends again upon how early you're going to be able to get in to register. But some of these sessions will only seat about 45 people. And once they're full, and you're going to have then another choice for another track. So this will be opening up again for those who have already registered early to get your money in. As for the registration dollars, you can pay all up front or pay half now and then half later. There'll be a 90% refund if you have to, if something comes up that your situation changes. But But anyhow, this is going to be just something a little bit different this year as far as the early bird registration. But that's today, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's going to be just within a couple hours after this particular podcast has been released. There is also the Abracorndabra, which is going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, and that's going to be coming up. Their registration is going to be open this coming Thursday, and that's going to be, I guess, open a 24-hour early bird special. And as I'm showing over here, you get to save about $25 if you register on the first day. And that after that, it's going to be going up a little bit. Also, they always sell out just like Magic Live. So if you want to save a little bit of money, register this Thursday, and they're going to be open again for 24 hours. I guess that starts then at midnight Central Time, I believe. So it'll be Thursday the 16th. One day only, 24-hour early bird special for $225 that you can register for Abracorndabra. I plan on being there. I hope to see you there. One other thing while we were talking about conventions that's pretty important to note, and that is about the Winter Carnival. This will be the 50th annual Winter Carnival, and the last one I know that Tom Vorjaghan is going to be involved in doing, and could be for the last time, one of the last, if not the last, Winter Carnival completely. I don't know who's going to be taking it over or what group or anything's going to be happening from here, but this is going to be a big one. I know they have a lot of room because the Country Tonight Theater, where they perform and present the shows, has a large capacity for seating, so that's not going to be the issue necessarily. In fact, I understand from talking to Tom Vorjaghan that we already have, or he already has, for the convention, more people registered now than they had total last year. And still, this is not going to be until later in March when the convention is going to be coming up. So you probably need to consider registering for that because it's going to be great. He's pulling out all the stops. There are going to be just some fantastic names. And I don't want to start listing some of them right now, but go and check out and look up the Winter Carnival of Magic and register for that from very soon then too. I always ask if there's anybody who has any news or something that is a correction or something they might want to add to this Magic Whisper. I want to thank Jeff Williams, who recently had noticed after I had posted the names of some of the people I was aware of or who I knew who was close to me, who had passed during 2024. And he noted that there were about another half dozen or so people whose names I had inadvertently omitted. And so I'm going to let that scroll through now to see these additional names. Thank you, Jeff, very much for that addition, and thanks for being vigilant. And we will miss our friends as well. Well, this week we're going to be on the Magic Word podcast talking with Mark Pocan, who is congressman from the 2nd Congressional District in Wisconsin, and he had recently in 2024 renewed and won his district then again, and he's going to be our guest this week on the Magic Word podcast. And he's got some interesting things to talk about, a variety of different subjects that I know you'll enjoy, some different kind of twist that, from a different perspective, I guess is a good way of putting it, of the many things that he's going to talk about. And here's just a snippet of some of the things that he'll talk about here this week on the Magic Word podcast.
In fact, I've used Magic to help me get a committee assignment. You know, there's 22 committees in Congress, and leadership essentially generally is the one who's putting you into committees. And a lot of it is impacted by what region you're from and a lot of things. But Nancy Pelosi was the leader at the time, and I wanted to get on the Appropriations Committee. And the top 3 committees are the Appropriations Committee, Ways and Means, and Energy and Commerce, where more activity happens than maybe some of the other committees. And I really wanted to get on the Appropriations Committee. So I knew that there was a dinner she was going to be at that I was doing a magic show at for the Progressive Caucus, their retreat. So I made sure I did the magic square because I wanted her to think I was really good at math to go on the committee. Yeah, and it worked. You know, at the end, I did wind up. I can't say that was the direct, causation of what happened, but it certainly didn't hurt.
One other thing, by the way, I happened to see one little snippet that was from Roger Trier. He happened to be over in the Orient, and he saw Franz Harary's show. And this was just a little post that he had on Facebook. I want to congratulate Franz Harary, who is really killing it, again, as usual, when he's overseas doing these big extravaganza shows. And I know that Rocco Solano is helping you as well. Congratulations, Rocco. And if you get an opportunity to get over there to see the show, please stop by and say hello to Franz and Rocco. Well, we look forward to having you back to listen to the Magic Word podcast later this week. It's going to be again on this Thursday, and you know what to do. There's some other things you got to do on Thursday as well, but I hope that you tune in and listen to Mark Pocan on the Magic Word podcast. And also, I hope that you enjoy the Magic Word podcast as well as the Magic Whisper. If you happen to have any news bits or things that you want to report or something you would like to know more information on that you think I might be able to tap into, or contact some of my friends to give us some more details as to what's going on, I'll be glad to do that. Just drop me a note, scott@themagicwordpodcast.com. In order to help of the podcast grow, as well as the Magic Word Whisper, if you will please just like, comment, and share, just pass this on, let other magicians know about what's going on here. We would certainly appreciate it to help this vlog continue, as well as to help our podcast grow. So again, next week, if you've got some things to report, please let me know, and I'll be sure to report it. You can hear what's news as we kind of keep our finger on the pulse here on the Magic Whisper.
Share the whisper with other magicians and join us next time on the Magic Whisper. The Magic Whisper is a division of the MagicWordPodcast.com.